And then the question number 4 is really a combination of these other 3, which is you develop the main question. Now I cannot give you the main question. That's something that you actually develop out of the other 3 questions. And for example, it's a question that comes up with, you develop that, and here's a few examples like how to reduce the cost of customer acquisition by 10x. Now that one comes out of a thinking process that you go through. For example, if you come up with your biggest constraint in your industry, for example, we did that, and I'll talk about that in a second. We came up that in our real estate info marketing industry, the biggest constraint is trust. Trust. There's a lot of shady people in the industry. There's a lot of people that don't have good information, which is probably in all over the internet marketing industry. So we needed to solve the problem of trust. That's an industry constraint. Everyone in the industry has the same constraint. Nobody's automatically trusted. So we built some things around there, and as a result, we came up with a 10x vision for that business. So another one is increase your profit margin 10x. Now that's not a random kind of thing that you can come up with, but if it's a business constraint, you can make that the main question. How to sell 10x more properties, how to sell a 10x more, 100x more home study courses. And so you develop that 10x vision. But again, the 10x main question is not yet the vision. It's really important to remember. The 10x main question is developed from the other 3, but it's not yet the vision. Out of that question, that's now a question that you have and that you ponder on. So if the question is, how can I sell, how can I sell 100 times more properties? How can I sell 100 times more properties? How can I sell 100 times more properties? All of a sudden, your mind will expand, and you will see stuff that you're already doing, particularly in combination with like which part of the business would be the most suitable to sell 100 times more properties, as in our case. So I'm telling you actually what we went through in our exact example. Or let's look at the example of Zappos. Zappos actually went through that too. Now I don't know if they followed this exact process, but the essence they followed something that led them to a very similar to a breakthrough result. So for example, when Zappos was started, Tony Hsieh put in a bunch of money in and almost ran out of money. Tony Hsieh had to sell his apartment. I mean, he was down. He was down to his last, I think, $1 million or something like that. And if you read the book, Delivering Happiness, he outlines it amazingly. So what they figured out, though, is their main constraint was a customer experience constraint. Right? The customers at the very beginning, we know Zappos as it is today, right? But at the beginning they figured out that their customer experience was a problem. They were not in the online shoe business. They were actually, because the thing is, people didn't buy shoes online because they couldn't try them on for free. I mean, who in the world is going to pay for somebody to ship you a pair of shoes and then pay to ship them back? But that was the business model at the very beginning. So they realized the main question, once they realized that it's a customer experience constraint, I suspect the main question became something like, how can we increase the customer experience by 10x? How can we create the perfect customer experience, which is a similar kind of thing? And as a result, the 10x vision then became delivering happiness. And basically, they came to the conclusion that they needed to make people happy in all steps of the transaction. Right? That the website needs to be super user-friendly. The support needs to be fully there. But also, the number one solution that made their breakthrough was free shipping both ways. Now, we all think that's normal, right? But it wasn't when they started. They had to come to this conclusion that this is what made the difference. That if you can order 10 pairs of shoes, try them all on, and then pick the one that you like, then ship the other 9 back, great. And chances are you're not going to ship the other 9 back. You're going to keep 2 or 3 of them if they're different ones, right? Who are the ladies in the room? True? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So shipping both ways. But they also realized that that wasn't the full solution. So out of that main question usually comes out multiple solutions that have to be implemented in a sequence. And the second kind of solution came up. They needed to be in control of the full shipping and delivery experience. And as a result, what they did is they had to own their own warehouses. So they did drop shipping before. Not many people knew that. They basically ordered on Amazon, ordered on Zappos, and they sent a message to Nike, and Nike sent you the shoes. or they send you a message to whoever it was and they sent the shoes. So, but by having their own warehouse, they now could do stuff like you order 2-day shipping and they dropped it off the next day, and you're like, wow, you were wowed. Right? So they created the full customer experience out of being in control of the shipping and delivery experience, and with that, that gave them a 10x advantage over everyone else in the industry for long enough to become the market leader. Now that's a crucial thing. Ultimately, other people will catch on. There's no such thing like an everlasting market advantage. Other people will figure out what you're doing and they will copy it and so on. But if you have that market advantage for long enough, you become the undisputed market leader, and it's really hard to get somebody out of that number one spot. It's been proven again and again and again and again. That's why these online, what is this guy? These something kings, something, what is that? The draft kings or something like that. That's why they're spending so much money on television right now. They're trying to become number one in the market. And why? Because once that market is established, whoever is number one probably stays number one. So they're burning the boats right now on that. I don't know if the legitimacy of their stuff, I don't even know what in football the secondary means. But that again, I'm from Germany. Therefore, in our case, I already kind of alluded to it. What we wanted to do when we decided that we want to grow, we kind of went through this process, and that process evolved over the years. So for us, the first thing we did is we basically realized that our constraint was a business constraint. It was an industry constraint. There was, of course, companies out there selling way more pieces of real estate than we did. So we realized it's something that we don't do right and that we don't know how to do. So we went and tried to figure out how to solve it. And our biggest constraint was our sales process. We knew that we can buy as many properties as we want, but we didn't know how to sell as many properties as we want. So it was too labor intensive. We were selling them one by one. Right? We were putting them on eBay. We were putting them on Craigslist. We were putting them on our website. And we were fielding questions one by one. And we realized if we want to grow this 10x or 100x, we couldn't, because we would have to hire so many people that it would destroy the profit margins on the deals, and we wouldn't make any more money. We would have way more business, but we would probably make less money. So doing what we were doing would not work, just doubling, quadrupling, or 10xing it. So we need to ask ourselves a better question, which is that question of, in this case, what became the main question for us, which is how can we sell 10,000 properties a year? So we kept asking ourselves, how can we sell 10,000 properties a year? And we had no clue how to do this. We had no idea, not the slightest idea how to get there. But the solution came up. And the solution came up with two words, land auctions. Right? With land auctions, all of a sudden we saw an ad from another company that had figured this out. And they had done land auctions where they come to town and they sell 200 properties in one day, and that's it. And it was like, we can do this. That's totally possible. So we basically went ahead and we sell 200 properties or 250 properties in one day. If we do that multiple times a year, we can sell at least 1,000 properties a year. If we do that once a week, we can sell 10,000, but we never got to that point. But the key is, it doesn't matter. We set a 100x goal, but we got to 10x. Is 10x still much better than 2x? Absolutely. So we did that. We can sell 1,000 properties a year. And number two, we also realized we needed to add something to that to really make the sale process easier. We need to offer seller financing on these properties so we reach a bigger market and make the purchase much easier to actually follow through on. And as a result, 1 year later, we were an 8-figure company. That's exactly what we did. And that was based on this one question. One question. Now, a solution already existed in this case, but we didn't see it until we asked the right question. So you want to make sure that you ask the right question. Now, we're already passionate about land flipping. We're already passionate about real estate. We're already passionate about the beauty of property ownership. So those things weren't a problem for us. It was just, in our case, just a company bottleneck that we needed to solve. And then having done that, after a while, we said, like, you know what? Let's do it, start another business. And by the way, while we're having to do that, guess what? We had to expand as business owners. Because you don't put up an auction and sell 200 properties just as a couple of two. We had to hire people, and these auctions we had almost 100 people work for us. We had it was a well-oiled machine. So we as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as leaders had to step up, had to grow, and had to become somebody different that is able to actually manage that. But now with the path laid out in front of us, it wasn't so hard anymore, because now we just need to figure out the logistics around how to do this.